Good morning, good night, good afternoon, whatever part of the world you're on today. This episode of As a Tarot Turns is brought to you on purpose with purpose. I am your host and Nacho Mama. Some people call me Crystal, some people call me Criddle, like Riddle with a C. Either way, Nacho Mama is a personality, not a person. I'm going to do the pick a prayer for the day. I've been instructed to do a pick a prayer instead of just a daily prayer because there's so many different people in the collective that didn't think it was fair to just throw one out and call it good. So I'm going to let you guys pick your own prayer. All right. And I have these 3 spheres here. For prayer number 1, I picked the one that looks like Jupiter. This guy looks like Jupiter. An agate sphere. Prayer number 2 is almost like a giant marble. I'm pretty sure this one's made out of glass. And prayer number 3 is this marble sphere. So I'm going to give you guys a moment to pick which prayer you would like. All right, if you pick prayer number 1, which is this Jupiter, your prayer for the day is dun dun dun, the Tower. The Tower. It is a number 16 card, which breaks down into a 7. It says, I have lost sight of myself, dear Lord. I feel I've wandered far away from thee, far away from thy heavenly love. I have been too concerned with myself and my selfishness, I forget to pray for those I love. Break down this facade, dear Father, and let me truly know myself. I am lost and full of false pride. Take me into thy loving care. Open my eyes and let me see the glory of truth. I feel afraid to let go, and yet my need to return to thee is much greater. Help me, Father, to come home and bless this new day with life and hope. Let me start living again today. Amen. Oftentimes, man feels the desire to change his ways, but lacks the strength of will to achieve his spiritual goals. He may wish to break down his ego and his materialistic pursuits, but be prevented from doing so by fear. To find peace and contentment, it is sometimes necessary for man to experience loss and tragedy before he can find spiritual comfort and strength. Sometimes it all has to fall apart in order for it to fall in place, you guys. Towers only fall when you build on faulty foundations, right? And instead of being angry or hurt by a tower, learning to appreciate and say thank you for showing me, thank you for showing me where I've been building on faulty foundations. Thank you for letting the things that are built on faulty foundations fall apart so that I may put it back together again. Right? All right, so if you've picked prayer number 2, which is this clear purple marble looking sphere, we have the Sun. Prayer number 2, your prayer today is the Sun. It is a number 19 card, which breaks down into a 10, which breaks into a 1, right? Today I want to share my happiness with you, dear Father, as I so often forget to do this. Every simple pleasure I experience I want to share with thee. When I look around me and see thy many blessings and achievements that my family and I have received, my heart fills with indescribable joy. How can I thank thee, dear Father? The blessings are so many. Let me give this day to thee in love and adoration. May all those who share this day with me feel thy gracious spirit at work at home, and everything I do and experience. May all the decisions I make be worthy of thy continued blessings. I am so full of love that it is difficult for me to express my true feelings. My faith is strengthened when I see all my blessings around me. My prayer today is to express my appreciation by giving others the joy that the Christ light brings. Amen. After the soul has undergone the trials of faith, the bonds that tie it to the earthly plane are severed, and man can now know true liberation and attainment. The knowledge of true nature of his being and the part he is playing in the universal plan brings him the glorious reward of union with the God within himself. Right? We are all here as representations of God to feel every possible possibility that is possible. None of us will ever know what it's like to be a tree. None of us will ever know what it's like to be anybody else except for ourselves. How do you explain jacuzzi bubbles to someone that's never been in jacuzzi? How do you explain the smell of a rose, the sweetest rose that you've ever smelled? How do you explain that to somebody? And even if you do explain that to somebody, they'll only have their perception of how they relate to it, right? They'll never, ever be you. We will never be each other. We are all here as representations of spirit, of God, to feel, to live, to see, to experience every possible possibility that's possible. So if you see some flowers out today, make sure you stop and smell them. If you get the sunshine in your face for a glimpse, unless you're driving, stop to enjoy the warmth of the sun. If it's gloomy outside, go outside and go look at the clouds, make cloud creatures in the sky, There's so much here that is beautiful. Prayer number 3. Prayer number 3. If you picked prayer number 3, that's this guy right here. It's a marble sphere. Your prayer for the day is the Wheel of Fortune. It's my all-time favorite card. The wheel in the sky keeps on turning. It's a number 10 card, which can break down to a number 1. And it says, my love for thee, dear Father, is so inconsistent. It seems easy to appreciate my blessings when all is well with me. Grant me the courage to reach out into the dark of my own misdemeanors. Life is ever-changing, and I need the wisdom to understand the seasons of my life. Help me to understand how to accept these changes, for I am weak and sometimes feel that I don't know how to cope. I feel insecure and long for love, yet it seems that I continually struggle to try and do it on my own. I turn to thee, dear Father, as I approach this new day. Fill me with faith and trust in the almighty mercy of thy love. Teach me to accept whatever the day may bring, and if it be pain or hurt, to accept it graciously, knowing that thou wilt take it from me if the burden is too heavy. Teach me to pray and retain the courage thou placest within me. Amen. Life is like a wheel. Life is like a wheel. When man is up, the only way to go is down. When he is down, he can be sure that he will eventually go up again. Nothing in this life is stable and permanent. Man must learn to accept the challenges and the blessings, for both are important to his soul's growth, right? We can't just say that everything works out for us only when it's good. It's much, much more difficult when we're in the midst of chaos or what feels like injustice of some sort, to still have faith that the universe is working in our favor. How many times have we said, oh yeah, everything works out for me, but only when it's good. It's also working out for you when it's seemingly falling apart. Because everything has to fall apart sometimes in order for it to fall back into place. So you can put your pieces, so the pieces can be put back together appropriately. Right? I love you guys. Please remember to like, share, and subscribe if you so feel inclined. And on that note, I'm out. Vroom, beep, beep.